In one of Chapter 5's latest trailers, we get teased with Lilly Lovebraid, a new character who I think is so much more important than people realise. Even though we see very little of her, there is a lot of thematic framing happening and ideas implied just in this trailer alone, which I just have to talk about. So let's get into it. We start with Poppy running through the vents, straight after the ending of Chapter 4. The prototype is right on her tail, but she manages to escape, only to fall out of the vents and end up in front of a new enemy, Lilly Lovebraid. From the brief look we get, she appears to be a purple doll with some sort of scorpion-inspired braid, which moves on its own accord. What's really interesting to note here is that Poppy is the one to meet Lilly. When we think about the trailers of all the other chapters, the main monsters are introduced directly to us, the player, as if we were the ones meeting them for the first time. But this trailer is framed entirely through Poppy's perspective. Not only is this very exciting to me, because it means we may play as Poppy in part of the game, but it also could tell us something important about Poppy herself. I've made some comments on my other videos about how Poppy is a sort of reflection on the player. By player, I mean both us and the ex-employee whose identity we inhabit. Both are in essence aligned in our goals, seemingly, and trying to play a part to survive, while struggling with trauma. But this trailer especially gives us a mirror to Poppy in the form of Lilly. There's so much doubling going on here, it's actually crazy. Both are named after flowers, with Poppy symbolising sleep, death, remembrance, and Lilly's representing purity, rebirth, and even funerals. I think the rebirth part is more important when considering the Lilly is Stella theory, but beyond that, we have the possible rivalry between the two. This is even backed up by the trailer's tagline, which reads, "Escaping from the prototype's threats, Poppy finds herself cornered by a new experiment." This really sets up that Poppy is on her own here, which could lead to a very personal fight between the two. Now, many have theorised that Lilly is Stella, and it's a solid idea. Stella wanted to be young, and her fun-loving personality matches up with Lilly quite well. But whatever the case, it's less interesting to me than her relationship to Poppy. By framing the trailer through Poppy, it feels like this meeting between the two is personal, and it doesn't hurt that the voice actress plays all three characters. Sometimes voice acting in different parts is just cost effective, but here I think it may actually mean something deeper. It lends to the idea that Lilly is a sort of dark reflection on Poppy, a person who fully embraces being a toy, who even wanted to be a toy, and who may bear even more similarities to Poppy than we currently know. Something else to consider is how the game employs doubles, Huggy and Kissy, Mummy and Daddy, red hand, blue hand. Okay, maybe not that last one, but the point is, doubling or mirroring is something the game loves to do. And it makes sense when we think about kid toys, where there's usually a girl version and a boy version. In this case, Poppy and Lilly aren't the same toy type, but they are both dolls, and they are both named after flowers. And in her differences, Lilly becomes more interesting to Poppy. Because she is bigger, more modern, and definitely stronger than Poppy, it plays into the idea I mentioned that she is a sort of replacement for Poppy. And if the game did let us play as Poppy, this could lead to some very interesting dynamic between the two. When Mummy Longlegs captured Poppy, she was completely helpless until the player came along to her rescue. But with Lilly, there's a chance that this becomes Poppy's way to prove herself, by taking on this enemy without us. That would be pretty cool. Perhaps Lilly's name, meaning of rebirth, isn't just about her. If Poppy defeats Lilly, it could be Poppy who is reborn, in a sense. Poppy is constantly rescued by the player, which makes sense given how small she is, and it takes away from her autonomy, which is great in horror, but if she is to grow and survive, to redeem herself, particularly after abandoning us in Chapter 4, then this would be a fantastic way to do it. In her own playable section, Poppy would not only have a chance to redeem herself, but also become a stronger character. Oh god, there's going to be a Chapter 6, isn't there? Something which always creeps me out in these games is how often you have an adult or a child voice mixed in with the toys. In Lilly's case, the contrast between how the voice actress plays Poppy and Lilly. Poppy sounds more childlike. Even though Lilly has a more playful personality, is clearly an adult woman in tone, whereas Poppy sounds like a child, Lilly sounds more like she's pretending to be a child, which to me is creepier. This makes Poppy feel even more disadvantaged, this tiny doll looking up to Lilly in this last shot. Lilly is by no means huggy-wuggy sized, but with the way she uses her braid to balance, she looms over Poppy. There's a lot to be excited about here, but briefly I should mention the prototype in the room. A last bit of food for thought. Lilly doesn't bring Poppy to the prototype, saying they are going to have so much fun. She wants to play with Poppy. We know the prototype is actively hunting Poppy down, So I wonder if Lily will become a complication for the prototype, her enjoyment of facing Poppy overshadowing her loyalty. Perhaps, in a twist, Lily might turn against the prototype. She's not immediately serving his interests in this trailer, at the least. This could feed into the idea that both Lily and Poppy have something in common, and perhaps later they come to see each other differently. It's interesting to note that Lily's starry costume looks more modern compared to Poppy's vintage aesthetic. This means that not only is Lily a newer toy than Poppy, but perhaps some sort of replacement for Poppy, both in the toy market sense, but perhaps on a deeper level. If she's working with the prototype, it could be that he sees Lily in some sense as the perfect daughter, one who doesn't need to be locked up because she obeys. Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. In any case, I'm excited to see where this all goes. Let me know your thoughts on Lilly Lovebraid or Chapter 5 in general. And if you don't have much to say on that, then just tell me your favourite colour so I know you watched till the end. See you soon!